Many of the misinterpretations behind Stoicism can be debunked by explaining the history of the ancient Stoics. After understanding the fundamentals, many will see Stoicism as a philosophy for the weak, cowardly, and self-interested, but this can only be further from the truth. If we delve a little deeper into the past of these Stoics and the trials they faced, we'll gain a better appreciation for the philosophy and see some of the flaws and the critiques against it. Stoicism is accepting of tyranny or injustice, or on a personal level, accepting of abuse. The Stoics put a great deal of emphasis on accepting the things out of their control. This means spending a great deal of time accepting of difficult people, accepting of how unfair life can be, and accepting of our past mistakes and failures. With the Stoics doing all of this accepting, some have made the keen observation that you can fall victim into accepting things into oblivion. Your boss is an all-around asshole. Stoicism would tell you that you have to accept your boss for being an asshole since his actions are out of your control. What critics of Stoicism will point out is how this can make you complacent with genuine abuse. They'll see the Stoic message as telling you, hey, your boss overworks you, makes you work in a dangerous environment, yells profusely like a lunatic at you and others. But hey, it's all out of your control, so just be more accepting and do nothing about it. There is a danger of complacency with how much emphasis the Stoics put on acceptance, but we are missing the other crucial step which the Stoics were keen on: action. Temperance is a virtue of self-control, and the Stoics were very keen on telling you to not react to somebody who is angry or being an asshole, like your boss. But they were also very, very keen on another virtue: courage. So what you need to try and balance is accepting people for their actions, but still having the courage to act accordingly. Just because you're accepting of your boss's behavior does not mean you take no action in regards to it. Waste no time arguing or screaming back at him. Can you find another job? If his actions are egregious enough, then maybe you should contact the labor board. If your fellow employees feel the same as you, then can you assemble a collective walkout or a strike? If you're lucky enough to have the finances to invest in yourself and think you could do your boss's job better than him, then maybe it's time to take a chance on yourself and start your own business as its competition. You have more options than one bad action and taking no action at all. What the Stoics wanted to make clear is wasting none of your time on getting angry and throwing a temper tantrum over your situation. Accept your boss for who he is. Then, and just as importantly, take the action required to mitigate or resolve the issue, or better yet, set yourself on a path where you'll never have to see your asshole boss ever again. For those who think that Stoicism is about the apathetic or the uncaring, then maybe we should take a quick look at a history of the few ancient Stoics who did anything but sit complacently in the name of tyranny. Cato stood up to Julius Caesar in an effort to stop a dictatorship. The Stoic opposition was the name given to a group of senators who actively worked against tyrannical rule of the emperor, an opposition which would last for 40 years through a multitude of emperors. Epictetus faced exile for speaking his mind, as did Seneca and many others. The ancient Stoics were not pacifists, nor were they pushovers. When they speak of acceptance for things out of our control, they still make it clear that one should take action on the things within their control, and in many cases, their actions were actions against the most foul and tyrannical. You accept people for who they are, but you do not have to shrug your shoulders and accept that there is nothing you can do about it. More times than not, there are a multitude of actions you can take, and in the face of strife or injustice, very seldom is inaction ever the answer. Delving deeper into the ancient Stoics, we do see another contradiction or flaw. The ancient Stoics owned slaves, and maybe even saw women as nothing but baby-making machines. It is fair to say there's some kind of irony with the Stoics speaking so much of justice, yet many of them owned slaves, and women's rights were just not a thing that they talked about, and weren't even really mentioned much in any of the books that we read today on them. This is a critique which holds a great deal of weight. Putting so much emphasis on justice as a virtue, you'd think there would be more discussion of liberating the more disenfranchised. Despite the ancient Stoics speaking up to tyranny time and time again, we see little in their pursuit of emancipation. Nor do we even see a shout-out or mention of the idea of emancipation in the books or philosophical passages that we read today. There is no definitive rebuttal to this, but there are some caveats that might help us understand the story a little more. Although the Stoics would make no progressive pushes to free slaves or foster the rights of women, they would make it clear that all humans should be treated with a level of respect and kindness. Slaves were not to be harmed or abused by their masters, and free women were encouraged to engage in philosophy, just like men. Although emancipation was not in their minds, the ancient Stoics would be described as the progressives of their time, believing that all humans had a right to human dignity. The Stoics were more humanitarian than the next ancient freeman. They were far from perfect, but they did push justice ahead in a direction which set the framework for others to build upon. Even cosmopolitanism, the idea that all humans are unified in one community of being, has its roots in Cynic and Stoic philosophy. Although slavery and women's rights were not on the agenda in the ancient Greece or Rome, we still get a sense that the foundation of Stoic philosophy made equality among all humans a priority. It may have not been their focus back then, but I'm sure they would be humbled and approving of how human rights have progressed since their era. Stoicism, as a philosophy, does not need to be bound by dogma or old practices. It does, in fact, have the opportunity to evolve and change with the times. So long as the essential understanding of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are all at the core of virtuous pursuits, then change is not only a possibility, but a necessity. As Marcus Aurelius would put it, the only constant is change, and if change is a constant, then it is important that this change happens with virtue in mind. The Stoics' cosmological beliefs are wacky. Admittedly, I know very little about this, but what I have gathered is that the Stoics had some really out there ideas as they made some bold claims for what the universe was made out of. They thought all living beings had a fire inside of them, which affected the world. This fire, which seemed to be seen as a literal one, not metaphorical, gave the world shape by how the living things acted. They put a great deal of emphasis on the four elements of water, earth, fire, and air. These four elements made up the universe, materially and spiritually, and if there was an imbalance between them, the world would suffer a period of conflagration. You might say, before there was Avatar: The Last Airbender, there were the Stoics seeing the world in a similar kind of fantasy. In their minds, only humans were capable of reason, and because of this, humans had within them the power to shape the world in a way other animals could not. This collective reason is often referred to as the Logos, which is essentially their form of God, or the gods, which is all of human consciousness. In this capacity, reason itself is almost worshipped like a god. This could be interpreted as embracing the natural order of the universe, but you can find a few passages where some of these seem to take this premise as a truism rather than a metaphorical interpretation. It's fair to say that if the Stoics took these thoughts with a great deal of seriousness, then we can most certainly set most of this aside as debunked by modern standards. but it is important to recognize they were theorizing about the world with the information they had. The ancient Stoics were, for the most part, materialists. If they were shown the material evidence of modern science, they would likely have little quarrel with the new discoveries we've unveiled in the past 2,000 years. But who knows, maybe if Seneca was alive today, he'd be a flat earther. Could be possible. And if you like that video, then you can always check out my book that talks about those issues and many more to help you through some of the hard times in your life. It's got a title so edgy, I'm not even sure if I can say it on YouTube. So check it out in the description, and as always, stay tuned for more videos to help you through those hard times, as well as liking, commenting, and subscribing for all that other fun stuff with the algorithm, you know? Yeah. Like, subscribe, write a little comment about how I'm silly or whatever. Do it. Do it now. Yeah, there you go. Wasn't so hard to do, right?